everyone, we're just going to be redoing this idol here. As you can see, it's been here sitting in the garden for several years, and it's kind of, with the weather and the elements, it's kind of wearing off a little bit. And you can see all this pitted nature. So we're going to be refinishing it with plaster. First of all, you have to clean the piece. So I'm going to be cleaning the piece, and you'll see how I clean the piece. I have some wire brush here, so I'm just going to kind of see where stuff is loose, make sure that you kind of chip away at it so that whatever you're going to be putting on top adheres to it, right? So clean, 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 clean. You can see, there you go, all this is just the old paint that is kind of taking off. So you want it to be off completely, cleaned up. There you go. And then you want to make sure that you always cover up the area that you're working with. So I've put a tarp here so that things will be easy cleanup when you're done and it's not going to be messy. So as you can see, there's a lot of loose particles. Sometimes they don't come off with the wire brush, so I'm going to be using this little tool here. Boom, boom, boom. You can see there. All these things, you just want it definitely to come off. You don't want to pry too much because the shape will get ruined, so just make sure. Okay, so you do that, then you take a brush and you make sure you clean off any loose particles over here. Sometimes you don't even need a tool, you can just use your hand and peel it off. And again, safety first, so make sure you're wearing gloves. Wear clothing that you don't care about, because this will get messy. Again, you don't want to pry too much, just make sure the loose stuff comes off. That way there is sticking capability to whatever you're going to be putting next, right? Okay, so we redo this from top to bottom. That way, whatever loose stuff is falling down doesn't get again onto the portion that you've already cleaned. This. Take your time cleaning the piece. That way you don't have to redo this in about 2 years from now. as I said, don't fry it too much. Just make sure you can get one good clean. So we had stopped with the cleaning. Now we're going to continue. I got this product and it's called Type 1 Mastic. This is basically used for tiles, etc. I had leftover of this, and if you see, it had kind of dried up, so I just, kind of soaked it with water, and it's come back to life. So that's what I'm going to be using. I have artist brush here, which I'm going to be using again. You want to make sure that you're using very thin coats. So if you see, I'm not taking too much of the product. So we'll start off here, right? Because that's where you need it to be. Wherever it's fitted, wherever it's peeling, you want to make sure that you put thin coats. Again, very, very thin coat. Don't put it on too thick. Thin coats. You want to make sure it gets into the crevices. Remember, this is just your first coat, so you want it to be thin, not too thick. As you can see, right there, that's where I've applied it. Very, very thin coat. Okay. Going to be continuing the same process. I'm going to show it over here. That way you can see how I'm doing this. Very, very, very thin coat. Again guys, thin coat. I know I'm repeating like a broken record, but just want to make sure that you do it in steps and not try to rush the process. Okay? Okay, I'm going to be doing it here. There. The camera is pulling this neatly for you guys to see it. And again. Thin coat, thin. Working the product into all the crevices this way, right? Any loose product that you come, just take it out. Here. So yeah, just keep working yourself step by step, bits and pieces. Don't rush the process. If you have any loose particles, get them out, because if they are loose, then your next step is not going to stick to it. Okay?